This chart compares the factors contributing to land degradation by region, expressed as a percentage. Oceania has the greatest percentage of degraded land in the world at 13%. In terms of land degradation, overgrazing is the most prevalent cause, 11.3%, whereas overcultivation is the least common, at 0%. Only 5% of North America's total land area is deteriorated, making it the least so in the world. Overcultivation is the most prevalent source of land degradation, 3.3%, whereas deforestation is the least common, at 0.2%. Overgrazing and overcultivation are the most prevalent causes of land degradation in Oceania and North America, respectively. In the UK, this graph illustrates the distribution of income by age and gender. According to the graph, the biggest number of females may be seen between the ages of 30 and 34, which is around £20,000. The smallest group is under the age of 20, with a population of roughly 10,000. Males in the 50 to 54 age bracket account for around 28,000 of the total. There are about 20,000 people in the 70 to 74 age range, which is the smallest group. To summarize, the pre-tax median income of men is greater than the pre-tax median income of women. This procedure demonstrates the use of water to generate power at a hydroelectric dam. The reservoir's water first enters the dam's water intake. There is a penstock from which water is then drawn. A water-powered turbine sits at the other end of the penstock. An electric generator is attached to the turbine, and the electricity generated is sent to nearby buildings and homes through long-distance power lines. Finally, the water exits the turbine and enters the river. Using a hydroelectric dam to generate energy involves a number of phases, from reservoir water through transmission lines. In 1980, 1990, and 2000, the table shows the average yearly salary for bachelor degree holders in various areas. The yearly salary of business degree holders increased from $91,000 in 1980 to $105,000 in 2000, making them the highest earning workers of all time. In 1980, language and literature degree holders earned $64,000, $71,000 in 1990, and $80,000 in 2000, respectively. Graduates in the field of business made the most money, while those in the field of language and literature made the least. The percentages in this pie chart show the key market segments in 2013. This is a $57.3 billion market in totality. Single-family houses accounted for 28.9% of the market. Healthcare and educational facilities rounded up the top three, accounting for 13.3% and 12.6% of the total. In terms of market share, apartment complexes and retail had the lowest percentages. Retail had the lowest percentage of the market, while single-family dwellings had the most. Figures from 2000 to 2005 show the causes of forest loss in the Brazilian Amazon. By a wide measure, cattle ranching is the primary driver of deforestation. Small-scale agriculture accounts for between 20 and 25% of deforestation worldwide. Then there's industrial farming, 5 to 10%, logging, 2 to 3%, and other things, 1 to 2%. Deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon is mostly due to cattle ranching, with logging and other activities having the least influence. The images depict the evolution of computers from the past to the present. The illustration on the left depicts a computer with a small screen and a large frame. It appears to be really difficult to use. On the other hand, an image of a current laptop can be seen on the right. Operation is straightforward because the display and keyboard are almost identical in size. In the end, there has been a major advancement in computer technology. The above graph shows a survey conducted among 35 members on what kind of pet they own. 11 members own a cat as a pet. 8 members own a dog as a pet. 6 members own goldfish as a pet. 5 members own hamster as a pet. A very less number of people own a rabbit as a pet. Overall, the highest number of people owned a pet cat and the lowest number of people owned pet rabbit. This photograph depicts many aspects of a Stone Age dwelling. The triangular-shaped thick thatch encloses the wattle and daub-built dwelling. There are logs for sitting, beds, and a main fireplace in the inside of the house. Additionally, there is a place where meats and fish may be smoked and preserved. There is no need for a chimney because the thatch releases the smoke. A Stone Age home has a variety of characteristics, including thick thatch and logs. In this image, a tall building can be seen near a heritage building. It is a glass building and a skyscraper. It is a piece of modern architecture. On the roof is a glass overrun which is described as a glass blade by the architect. On the west and east-facing sides, aluminium strips can be noticed. The old heritage castle is of bricks and has traditional architecture. The heritage buildings are becoming part of the development and new and modern buildings are built on it. The picture is of a line graph on a rough scaled paper showing the product sales for 3 years. The x-axis is labeled with the years 2000, 2001, and 2002, whereas, on the y-axis, we have the units of product sales from 100 to 250 gallons. The 3 lines show snacks, food items other than snacks, and soft drinks as selling products. The food items are the only products that witnessed skyrocketing growth in selling from 200 to 250 gallons in those 3 years, whereas rest of the items that are snacks and soft drink initially surged in 2001 and then dropped in 2002. All in all, the given data reveals that food items are more popular as compared to snacks and soft drinks as far as selling is concerned. The procedure outlines the actions necessary to address an issue. In order to begin, you need to identify the issue. The next step is to come up with new concepts. The last phase is deciding on a solution and then constructing the final product. In the 5th phase, the item is evaluated. It is time to deliver the findings. Responding to an issue involves a number of steps, the first of which is articulating the problem and the last of which is providing the results. Using this graph, you can see which countries are truly the richest. Using the graph, it's evident that this is the case. When it comes to average wealth, Switzerland has the highest figure at roughly 673,000, while the Netherlands has the lowest number at around 377,000. That much is evident from the graph. When it comes to median wealth, Australia has the highest figure at 238,000, while Denmark has the lowest at 165,000. Finally, this graph reveals which countries are the richest in the world. The graph below provides information on how to address an issue. It demonstrates how the procedure is carried out. State the problem, create ideas, and choose a solution are the steps. The first stage, according to this diagram, is to define the problem. The second phase is to produce ideas. After that, the final phase, as shown in this graph, is to choose a solution. This graph also shows that the next step is to construct the item. The next step is to assess the situation. The results must be presented as the final stage. Finally, this graph is quite useful. Confidence in the economy was measured by a line graph from January 1990 through January 2008. Consumer confidence was at an all-time high of 85 in January 1990, before quickly falling to a low of roughly 67. Consumer confidence continued to climb and dip during the next years, peaking in January 2002 at 106. Although consumer confidence was once again at 67 in January 2008, the decline was severe and lasted throughout the year. The level of consumer confidence fluctuates constantly, with many peaks and valleys. There are two types of eclipses, total and partial. To create a black shadow in a total eclipse, the moon blocks the sun's light. An umbra is a shadow that is completely darkened. An area termed the penumbra, where the shadow falls, is shadowed to a lesser extent during a partial eclipse. A total eclipse occurs only in a tiny region of Earth, but a partial eclipse occurs over a considerably broader area of the planet. The troubling state of overall greenhouse gas emissions in the United Kingdom is depicted in an instructive multiple-line graph. There are 3 lines depicting current emissions, predicted ranges, and a million-ton objective for gas emissions. While it is encouraging that actual emissions have decreased dramatically from about 750 million tons in 1990 to just under 650 million tons in 2000, it is unexpected that the anticipated range then jumps to 680 million tons. The exact goal has been established at 640 million tons. To summarize, we may say that the carbon dioxide equivalent gas would climb rather than diminish. In this image, a tall building can be seen near a heritage building. It is a glass building and a skyscraper. It is a piece of modern architecture. On the roof is a glass overrun which is described as a glass blade by the architect. On the west and east-facing sides, aluminium strips can be noticed. The old heritage castle is of bricks and has traditional architecture. The heritage buildings are becoming part of the development and new and modern buildings are built on it. The given images are showing two different types of feelings and emotions. In the first picture, few children are laughing their heart out. The children look very innocent and enjoying the moment. The children seem to be underprivileged. On the other hand, the second picture is of a very old person who seems to be very tired and depressed. Wrinkles can be seen on the face of old person. Two types of feelings are shown in these pictures, one is happiness and laughter and other is gloomy and poignant. The graphic depicts the transformation of a city block over a decade, from 2000 to 2010. The commercial center next to the hospital was converted into a cancer and pharmacy that is separate from the hospital as the first significant alteration. Farmland was also developed and a nursing school was established next to the parking lot, making it even more convenient. Overall, half of the city block was transformed and developed, resulting in a more densely populated area with fewer public spaces.